I've got mass. I've got the girls get early pickup, and then we've got physical therapy. So I'm like, this is the day I don't have time to give myself 20 minutes. So it's like, all right, Sour Patch Kids and Dr. Pepper, here we come. Okay, Matt. So you know that kids are pretty honest, and they may say things that are kind of hurtful, but they're not trying. They're just being honest. They're just saying things. They haven't learned that tact yet.
Right.
Have you ever, like, I don't want to say been a victim because that's awfully dramatic, but have you ever been on the receiving end of an honest child as an adult?
Oh, man. I'm sure I have, but nothing stands out.
I got a fresh one, okay? I got a fresh one. Last night we had basketball practice, and my oldest, I swear, like I bought her these shorts in June. And what are we, November now? And these things look like booty shorts. They're just, her legs just will not stop growing. This kiddo, she is just eating us out of house and home. She's going through a big growth spurt right now. So we're going to basketball practice, and she's talking about how tall she is, and look at me, and she's up to my shoulder and a little bit past my shoulder. And my youngest says something about, oh yeah, well, I'm almost taller than you. And we have this like little banter back and forth. And I just throw out there, hey, remember when you both used to fit in my body? Like, that's all I said was, you used to be so tiny, you fit in my body.
Remember when?
Yeah, exactly. I know they wouldn't, but Elliot, the youngest, goes, yeah, I know, Mom, but we've all put on some weight since quarantine. I go, what? What are you saying? She's like, yeah, I remember when you had a really strong body. I mean, but it's okay. You'll get back there again. Like, okay, what did you think I said? And she said, do you remember when I had a strong body? And I'm like, no, I said, do you remember when you fit in my body? And she goes, oh, well, I've put on some weight in quarantine too. It's okay, Mom. And I'm like,
right. She made it worse somehow.
She made it worse, and she was trying so hard. And I'm just, okay. And this is also after we were at Sam's Club, and I let them talk me into a Sam's Club size Sour Patch Kids container.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, okay. So you're pointing out that I put on some pounds, but you're not saying it while I'm eating the candy. Well done. Okay. Thank you.
When was this? When did you get talked into Sour Patch Kids?
Yesterday.
What is with
Yesterday.
you? Just had Halloween.
I know, but nobody had Sour Patch Kids, and they are not my favorite, Matt. They are not. I'm going through something where it's like I need sour and sugar, and I now have sour and sugar for like 9 months.
Yeah, I was going to say, how big of a container are we talking about?
4-pound bag.
4-pound bag. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. My actually, I can taste this. That's kind of.
I know. Like my mouth is salivating, thinking about like I can't wait to get to my next handful.
Yeah, that sour at the back of my mouth. Yeah, just like, oh man, yeah. That does not sound good right now.
No, and I definitely like when we go to the gas station. I never go for sour. I always go for chocolate. So this is pretty surprising. And that they were like, hey, what about this? We didn't get this in our Halloween candy. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Let's buy it. Man.
That's hilarious. Can't believe you fell for that.
Sucker.
They doing free samples at Sam's?
No, it's not like the sample people at Sam's. Like they do have free. It's like a vending machine where it's a certain product every so often. So you could get like a dog biscuit, or you could get a granola bar, or you could get something for heartburn. But you swipe your card and then it goes bloop and it disperses, and it's little commercials in between. Like, yeah, but it's not like the sweet old sample ladies at Sam's Club anymore.
Is this the new normal? Like, is this part of the new normal?
No, I think that's been there a while.
Oh, it has? Okay.
Yeah, it just rotates products. And it has to be a product that obviously it can be dispensed through a vending machine. But
how long have the old ladies been gone with the...
I think current times, right?
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So the old ladies complimented these kind of like vending machine sample things.
Yes.
Interesting.
Like you would get bagel bites on one end from the sweet old ladies, and then you could come down here and get like the purple pill for your heartburn that you'd get from the bagel bites.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have heartburn. Isn't that the purple pill?
I don't know, but I got confused at first and thought you were talking blue pill.
Not to be confused with the blue pill. I don't think they're handing those samples out. How in the world can we not have all the world's problems solved, but we have the blue pill? This is something that infuriates me.
Well, profit motive.
On a regular basis. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, old dudes with expendable income.
Yep, cancer makes too much money, so let's not cure it. Let's make sure we cure erections.
Well, I don't think that's what they were trying to do, Kate. I think wasn't it initially like a heart drug or something like that?
Was it, or is that what they're saying so they don't sound so disgusting? Exactly. Well, we accidentally found the problem to flaccid, whatever.
And they go, yeah, that's it. They started speaking very suspiciously.
It was an accident.
Right. Well, that's good to know they're not killing off the old ladies at Sam's Club.
I know. Back it up. Sorry. I digress. The sweet old ladies at Sam's Club get me all sweet and
talking about sweet
lovely.
Old ladies next to Viagra. A little bit too close, I guess.
I know.
My apologies.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah. So no hot eats, no bagel bites.
No bagel bites. No like little mini tacos or...
Oh, mini tacos.
Yeah, they used to have mini tacos and or some other, like all the frozen foods that like, here, Mom, this will save your life because you don't have to cook tonight. Just pull it out of the freezer. Your kids love it. See? Which I love. I'm not above that.
I wonder what the old ladies, the old sample ladies are doing these days.
Well, I hope they're doing all right. I would think they'd be kind of lonely.
Got to stay away from their grandchildren who might kill them.
It just sounded so callous, Matt.
Just making samples at home and dumping them into the trash when they're done.
Gotta stay away from their grandkids who might kill them, you know.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, Matt.
You know, we've been talking about cell phones a lot lately.
We have been.
About like, it's new phone season and all that.
Yeah.
Well, then I ran across this article. This is from The Verge. 8 new uses for your old smartphone.
Okay.
So I thought these might be nice to share. Yeah, and I think the first tip they give is actually probably the best. I know many times people will trade in their phone.
Right.
And I know you can get a lot of money for that depending on the model, so I don't want to necessarily discourage that. But it kind of pays to have a beater phone around in case you lose your new phone.
Okay.
Or otherwise damage it or whatever. So that's a good tip.
Keep as a backup.
Yeah, keep it as a backup phone. Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted to share some of the other ones. An extra remote. You know, if you've got like a streaming box there for the family, you know, you could like wipe it clean and then just leave it in the living room and could use that as your streaming device remote.
Interesting.
Good idea. Of course, there's kind of this is kind of a old school idea. I mean, it's been around for a long time to basically do a hand-me-down, the first phone for the kids.
Right.
Donate it to charity, which is kind of boring, but I get it. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, okay. I didn't think I got it as much until in the last couple of years. If you donate it to like a women's shelter, then they can provide something for women who like needs a second phone or a lifeline, essentially. So yes, it sounds boring, but when you think about what that phone donation could do for someone in need, because you think about who needs a cell phone in need. It's not like meals or clothing, but at the same time, women's shelter who deal with women in crisis, that could be a huge gift. So
right, because they could continue to be in their relationship on one phone, but be able to reach out on a different one. They don't have to worry about their significant other poking around their phone, looking for things, history and stuff.
Or if they need to leave their phone. If they need to leave their phone and not be found, but still have to have some sort of connection to other things. Yeah.
Interesting. They also point out cell phones for soldiers, Medic Mobile, which recycles old phones to fund new phones for health workers in Asia, Latin America, and Africa.
Okay.
And then they point to, you can check out some other ones with Charity Navigator. And, you know, you can always check out. That's a really good website, by the way, to check out legitimate charities in general, if you're curious. Charity Navigator. Yeah, look up Charity Navigator. They rate places based on like a lot of criteria. For example, how much money goes to, like what percent of money actually makes its way to the
executives,
people that you're intending. Right, exactly, executives. And
so the next time these little girls come into my door trying to sell something, I can be like, listen, I'm going to look up, what's your organization? Girl Scouts?
All right. Hold on, I'm going to be on Charity Navigator now.
Wait a second. Beep, boop, beep, boop. That is good to know because I prefer to do, if I'm going to donate, like especially when you're at a retail and they say, do you want to donate up, round up to $1 to go to XYZ major charity? I'm like, any of it stay local? Does any of it go? And they're like, no. I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks. So
I just got this vision of you at the grocery store there, or wherever, at the cashier. And they say, "Oh, you want to donate a % of your deal here? You want to give us a X number of pennies per dollar to donate to this place?" Like, okay, hold on. What's the name of the thing? And
Let
then
me
you
look
start
it up.
typing it into Charity Navigator.
Do you guys know how much they spent on executives last year? No, I will not round up my 17 cents.
Yeah. And then all this unfolding as there's a line behind you, of course.
As there's a line. Move it, lady. I get
So
it.
there you go. Some ideas for repurposing your old phone.
I like it. Have you always turned in your phone? Like when you get a new phone,
No,
have you? No,
never.
You've kept phones? Never?
Right.
So you just have like all of your phones?
Correct. Well, I gave one to my mom. I gave my iPhone 4S to my mom back in the day. That was her first iPhone.
Oh, Mama
And then
Stukes.
I kept my iPhone 5S as my backup phone when I got my iPhone SE. So I have only had 3 total phones in the
What?
past 10 years or something. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Look at you.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I rocked a flip phone and an iPod Touch for a very long period of time. So I like the apps and stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't really want to pay for the expensive plan, which those have come down over time. But
Right. Right. I get you.
So yeah, I've never traded them in, and
Okay.
always end up on a cheap plan too, where they don't really give you that much for a trade in.
Okay. Okay.
So. You?
Yeah. I have traded almost every time. I think the only time I didn't trade was like my BlackBerry, and I don't remember why we didn't do that, but that became like the play phone when the kids were little. And by play phone, like just it's in the toy box. It's not making calls. It's not there on apps. It's BlackBerry, for crying out loud. It wasn't that fun, but they just like to push the buttons.
It's a pretend phone.
Yeah, pretend. We did turn it on about 2 years ago, and it still could turn on. But yeah, I always upgraded. I always turned it in so I could get a nicer phone.
Actually, I'm glad we brought this up because right now you can get more money for your trade-in, depending on the model, once again, than you've been able to get in a very long time, maybe ever, because they're really trying to get people into the whole 5G thing.
They are.
Right? They're thinking if they can get you into a 5G phone now, that they'll be able to have you for a long period of time. So the offers right now are really good.
Forever. They're going to
inform the listener that, hey, they want to trap you forever, so you can get a really good trade-in, depending on how old your phone is.
Haven't phone companies, hasn't that been like a reputation? That's nothing new. They try to get you for really long contracts and, hey, you just signed a 60-month contract, but you got a new T-shirt. Yay.
Well, that part has come down a bit. I mean,
Okay.
they don't push the contract required plans nearly as much as they used to.
Gosh, do you remember those? Signing your life
typically,
away.
Typically a 2-year deal
And
or
if
an
you
18-month or something like that.
tried to switch companies, they made it like
Right.
so impossible and expensive.
Right. And now there's still, I mean, those options are still available for you to sign long term just to get a cheaper phone. But it seemed like for the longest time, it's like, good luck trying to buy a phone that wasn't on contract.
No kidding.
Yep.
Hey, Matt, we always talk about McDonald's.
Uh-oh. Okay. I'm excited already.
Where do you stand on the McDonald's McRib?
Oh, no thanks.
Nope.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay.
Well, I worked at McDonald's in high school, Kate.
Right?
And I just always found it gross. I don't know.
Did you judge people when you were fulfilling orders?
No, not really. It was just
Okay.
like, oh, this is something I would never eat. Well, I'm
Okay.
also, I think I've told you this before. If it's barbecue, and I know this is not really considered necessarily barbecue, but it's got barbecue sauce on there.
Right.
If it has barbecue sauce, let's count it as barbecue, and then it's got to come from a good place to me. especially considering the part of the country we reside.
Correct. I get that.
So how about you, McRib?
I am not a fan myself. So here we are again. We agree too much. Somebody should take a stand. I am with you for the same reason. If it's barbecue, it should be like a really good barbecue place, right?
Yep.
And it's not. But I do know that people love McRibs. And they get really excited about McRibs when they make their comeback to McDonald's. But yes. McDonald's announced that they're bringing the McRib back again this year, but it's making its return across the entire country. So they're not just picking and choosing areas of the country that we're going to have it back for a little bit here, there, and everywhere. It's everywhere. So
I didn't know it was a regional thing until
limited time.
Yeah. But now across the country.
December 2nd, McRib people, get excited.
So they're basically forcing all the franchises. I bet you might be able to opt out. I don't know.
I was going to say McDonald's says if you want to go to Germany, they've got McRibs all year round.
Oh, okay. Interesting. You know, that's, I forget what book I read about that, but the McRib is a really good case study in marketing.
Is it?
Because they tried to, I hope I'm recalling this correct.
Probably.
They tried to make it a full-time menu item back in the day.
Okay.
But ended up flopping. And then they found, well, what we can do is extract a lot of money out of these people that are really into the McRib by releasing it for a limited time. Because people will basically eat much more McRib per day.
Ew.
As a result.
Because it's a limited time.
Yeah, because it's a limited time. That could just be 0.3 McRib per day. I don't know.
Right.
Now, isn't there also something about they release it around the time the pork prices drop?
Pork prices do. I'm not up on the pork market, so
you're not. Oh yeah, beef.
Yeah, I'm beef is what's for dinner. I get pork; it's the other white meat. But yeah. I also I don't know. There's a ebb and flow to pork prices, I guess.
Not just like anything. Well, tell us about beef prices, Kate. You're always buying a side of beef.
Well, that's so I don't have to buy beef every week. I buy it once, and then I don't have to buy it until another year. So, when people talk about beef, it's so expensive right now in the stores. I'm like, I have no idea. I don't buy it at the stores.
Well, can't you tell year over year when you're buying it bulk?
It's about the same. And if you switch around to different, what do you call those? Meat markets, not meat markets, but
like a butcher shop.
Yes. But it's more like we've got 3 family farms that we go between. So I don't know if you call those processing plants. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Meat process. Is that how that works?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've never bought a side of beef before.
I sound really dumb. I just show up and get the beef and put it in my freezer. And then every now and then I have to write the check.
How much does that go for?
See, this is where it's going to get specifics that I don't have. I can tell you how much I wrote the check for, but I can't tell you the numbers of what we got in return.
Oh, I thought maybe a side of beef was a standard thing. See, this is totally foreign to me. I've never bought anything more than a couple pounds of beef.
I think we spent $1,400.
Oh, okay. And that lasts you for a year?
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn.
And I know. And I think what happened, you're supposed to be able to pick. This was the first year that I was kind of involved in the decision making, that I wanted 1 or 1.5 pound increments for the ground beef. But because it's a smaller operation, they were saying that, they don't have a machine that will just say 1.5 pounds. So they're going to give their best guess at 1.5 pounds. Matt, these 1.5 pounds are 2.5 pounds. And I'm not complaining. I kind of think I got the better end of the deal for these packages because...
Oh, they don't charge you per pound overall?
They do, but we got a ton. They must charge per pound. I just remember thinking it was an obscene amount this year compared to previous years. I don't know. I'm not a very good...
Yeah, this is embarrassing.
Here.
Never mind.
I know. I just like the meat. Okay, Matt?
You had to know I was going to ask you about the beef once you brought up the McRib.
I should have known that you were going to break it down. Can you get your old check stubs? Right. And can you look at what you guys took in the last 2 years? Because I don't have a spreadsheet, Matt, like you do about your sleeping or your... bean intake or...
How dare you? I don't have a spreadsheet for my bean intake. By the way, my latest round of black beans might be my best. I did a pretty good job.
What made them so good?
Well,
What made them stand out? Why is this your best bean round?
Okay, so it's been a while since we've had a bean update.
It doesn't sound sincere. I am aware. But I am wondering, what are you doing? Because if it makes the beans taste better than beans, I'm kind of interested.
Right. All right, so to recap, I make beans starting with dry black beans. And you got to soak them. That's the key. Soak them overnight. And you'll have good results. Now, you can get by with a quick soak, which involves boiling them for like 5 minutes and then bringing them down, letting them sit for an hour, and then boiling them again. But when you do the math, that ends up costing you more time overall because you brought them up to boil at one point and then brought them back down. You know, you get it. So one thing I found when I was... What?
Keep going. You said quick soak, and it made me think of like in a bathtub. And Matt's not in the tub with the beans. Nope.
Bathtub gin, okay. Bathtub black beans, nah.
No. Okay.
Yeah, there's no alcohol in there to kill it off. So,
bathtub gin, well done.
Right. So when I was doing research on making black beans, one of the tips I saw is that you can't use too much water. You can use too little water, and then you might end up burning beans, or I forget what they said the downfall was, or what the downside was to that. However, I've learned that that's not true. You can clearly use too much water, because one of the nice things about black beans is if you can get them so that they got that kind of sauciness to them. You know?
You don't add the sauciness yourself?
No, black beans, if they're made appropriately, are kind of creamy.
Okay.
Yeah. All I add is like onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper.
Okay.
Might be it. And some before the soak, because I don't think you want the salt in there when you're actually cooking them. You want to do that after the fact. So salt and pepper after the fact, and then I garlic them up again after the fact with the garlic powder. Yeah. So so basically, I've learned that you want just the right amount of water. That way, it can reduce appropriately and get down to a nice creamy-ish kind of sauce. If you use too much water, you're going to end up with kind of superior results. The beans are still good, but you don't get that kind of concentrated sauciness to them.
Okay.
So it turns out I had just the right amount of water on my most recent round of black beans.
And you remembered how much water so that you can recreate?
No, because I don't pour the water from a measuring cup or anything.
Okay.
I just kind of do it by
eyeball,
by sight. Yeah. So I think the key to do this, because it takes about an hour to cook, 45 minutes to an hour to actually cook them when you're like simmering them for that long.
Okay.
I think the key is to start with less water and then check back often just to make sure you're not without liquid, because you don't want to be burning the beans. So there you go, Kate. There's my black bean update. Any questions?
I am super impressed, Matt. How often are you doing the beans?
I make beans once or twice a week.
Okay.
I make enough so that I can reuse. So when they're first done is when they're the best. And then this may really gross you out. The subsequent consumptions of the beans often is cold out of the fridge.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. If I have rice, I'll mix the rice in with like all my vegetables and stuff, and then I'll throw the beans in there with the rice. But when I'm making steel-cut oats, I don't want to mix all that stuff together, So
okay.
So there you go.
Okay. Beans, so later on, you're saying they're best the day of and like the next day. But is there anything?
No, best the day of in general, and then I'll keep them for a few more days in their fridge.
But if they're past their best, you don't add anything to them to jazz them up. You just eat them cold?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know what you would add to beans. I'm just cheese probably, right?
Or like treat them like salsa, kind of.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because have you had like a black bean salsa before?
I try
it's
not
pretty good.
to.
You sounded very disappointed, yeah.
I know, because I'm too nice at parties where I'm like, oh, salsa. Anything with tomatoes and no beans? No? Okay, this is what we're doing. So.
And then you go for it? You do the move that we talked about before where you're guilted into trying the thing?
Yep. But I don't get like a whole heap. I'm just like, yep, that's one little chip right there. Done. Done.
No.
I wish I liked them, Matt. I wish I liked them. I get their nutritional value.
Yeah. Especially protein per penny. It's a very affordable food item.
True.
Especially when you're buying them dry.
Especially when you're drying your buy beans, buying your dry beans. Jeez Louise. I don't have anything in my drink, I promise. It's straight up water. No bathtub gin here.
No, you're correct. I specifically buy bisexual black beans.
I wasn't going there. I meant purchasing. Buying.
Oh.
Buy.
Okay.
Purchase.
I could have sworn you said that buy spelled B-I,
no.
not B-U-Y, buy. They're pronounced differently.
What?
Yeah, it sounded like you pronounced it B-I.
Okay.
B-U-Y.
Say them both.
Buy.
And?
Buy.
Okay. Just checking there.
I'm clearly lying. I don't think
clearly. I'm like, I thought you were being serious. And I was like, oh, wow.
No, I wish.
Because I don't feel like you're one of those people that say wheat thins and wheel and why.
Right. Well, I've heard people complain about, I shouldn't say people, one person specifically complain about someone else's pronunciation of mini.
What?
Like miniature versus mini, like many things, that they should be pronounced differently.
Oh.
Mini.
I go for a Manny, but mini, I have so many. No, I say I have so many. Many.
Okay.
Monty has a coworker who calls him Manny. That's always fun. What's up, Manny?
Oh, okay. Butchers his name. Does he have a weird accent? Is he from someplace?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, Monty? And he goes, Manny? So Monty is Manny.
How charming.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. I was a little worried about the pronunciation there. I thought you were quite serious, and I'm thinking, oh, man.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Kate, I can't. Now I'm really hungry after that McRib conversation.
Well, who wouldn't
I'm really
be?
I'm really hungry for a McDouble.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I told you the McRib's not quite my jam, but McDouble sure is.
When's the last
McDouble
time
sounds great right now.
you've had a McDouble?
Oh, it's been a long time. Yeah, what I'd really like, maybe I've told you this before, is a McDouble with an Egg McMuffin egg on top. You know, the poached egg on top of it. I think that'd be fantastic.
But you've never tried it?
I've never tried ordering it that way. No, I haven't heard of that being an off-menu item. Plus, didn't you say that all-day breakfast isn't really a thing right now?
I think so. Did you do that when you worked at McDonald's?
No. And
Okay.
once again, when I worked at McDonald's, the key to that all-day breakfast is somehow they've got to have different grill temperatures possible. So it was, I guess there was change. It changed at either 10:30 or 10:45 when it went from breakfast to lunch. So I guess you could have archived and kept an egg around.
Okay.
And made it at that point. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, never tried it.
Never tried it.
Yeah, I wasn't really into the egg burger kind of deal back then.
Back in the day.
So. Oh yeah, I mean properly. I think we've got it. I think a constant evolution is a helpful thing, and over time, I
agree.
Try new interesting things. If you're only eating the things that you ate when you were 16, well, your palate might not be that diverse.
Correct.
So throw eggs on all the things and see what you think.
I definitely agree with your palate changing and evolving, and I have come to not just love jalapenos, I love jalapenos. And it's only in the last 2 years that if I just get this taste for jalapenos that I want more spice. I want my nose to run. I want to get the hiccups. I want the flavor. And we ordered a pizza the other day, and it's usually our go-to hamburger, black olives, mushrooms, and jalapenos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in charge of ordering the pizza, and I was very distracted because I was at soccer practice and trying to make sure we got everything, and I'm trying to beep, boop, boop in my app, and I did green peppers instead of jalapenos, which it's a fantastic pizza. to add green peppers to.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not what I wanted. And it was such disappointment that I had such a hard time to appreciate that. I was like, ooh, it's a special night because it's pizza night. And this is not the pizza I wanted. And I know I wasn't the only one who was disappointed, but I'm the only one who said something.
The kids into the jalapeno?
About it being disappointed? No. Okay.
No.
Monty.
I was about to be very impressed.
I wish Elliot will eat some spicy things and Finley will eat some spicy salsas that surprise me. But if I even say like, oh, let's get jalapenos, they're like, nope. They interpret jalapeno with fire, kind of like I did when I was a kid. So,
you have crushed red pepper? Do you keep crushed red pepper around?
I do.
Okay, I was going to say, that's a great way to spice up something if you don't have jalapenos.
Yes, I did that. Okay, I know that you and I have talked about spaghetti, Matt, and kind of how I make a spaghetti that's like a blanket because it is the biggest comfort food ever. It's like a spaghetti bake. But I think my spaghetti is better the next day. It's fantastic the day of.
Oh, yeah. Leftover spaghetti can be just a revelation, yeah.
You talk about eating cold beans. I could eat my cold spaghetti. So good. But I nuked it the other day and I thought, I'm going to throw some red peppers in here. And it was like a whole new flavor profile. I'm like, I could do half of the sauce with a little bit of this, but my kids would probably freak out.
Yeah,
so
crushed red pepper in that sounds like a great idea, yeah.
Like it's a new thing. People have been doing this for years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an enlightenment.
Yeah. Yeah, crushed red pepper is amazing. There's a reason why it's on the tables of all the fine pizzerias. Yeah.
I didn't get it until like the last couple of years. Didn't get it.
Oh, yeah. Crushed red pepper. Fantastic.
Chef's kiss.
I got to rewind briefly, Kate. I am not trying to say that black beans are better than spaghetti.
Oh, no. I never interpreted that.
Comparing refrigerated black beans to refrigerated spaghetti, I mean, outside of the health ramifications, the cold spaghetti is far superior to the cold black beans and to, frankly, the fresh black beans. As far as the flavor profile.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I mean, if you like something, that's where I feel like I'm being mean to you. And I don't want it to sound like I'm being mean to you. I don't want it to sound like I'm being mean that you like your beans.
They're better than I enjoy black beans better than I ever thought I would have.
Yeah.
But don't feel bad for telling me that I'm weird for really liking black beans or consuming nearly as much as I do.
I never said you were weird. I think I come off very, like, poking fun at you because I've never met someone who eats as many beans or has, like, the trial and error of the water and soaking and overnight beans. And, that's the only part where I'm like, beans, huh?
All you got to know about the overnight soak is that you want to make beans the next day. And if you're like, oh, bummer, I forgot to soak the beans, then you can do the quick soak method, but it just takes more time in aggregate. I don't think the difference in taste at the end is dramatic, but definitely there's more time spent preparing. Because waiting for them to soak, I do not count as preparing.
Okay.
But
if only you had a bean maker like you have a rice maker, right? Then you can just beep, boop, boop, and there's your beans.
A lot of people use crock pots. We'll use a crock pot to make them.
Oh, okay.
But no, I don't think they're nearly as involved as cooking rice.
I'm wondering, though, you're kind of inspiring me here. I'm wondering, instead of opening a can of beans, rinsing them, pureeing them, and then putting them in my taco meat, I'm wondering if I should try the dry bean and then go to the food processor and then go to the taco meat.
Either way, you're still well, I think you're going to get, even if you salt them yourself, I think you're going to have a lot less sodium in there.
Right.
You're just salting it to taste, not to preserve it.
Yeah, and I don't think I ever salt the taco meat with the beans or without the beans because I always feel like our taco mix or the beans are awfully salty. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but if I'm going to do beans, I should probably do the less sodium beans. I'm going to try it, Matt. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to do the dry bean.
Okay, can't wait to hear the results.
Well, I can't wait to send you lots of texts going, okay, what next? How do I do this now?
Sounds like a good Facebook Live opportunity, Kate.
Oh, geez. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. I got to call Matt really quick.